Hi traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John, on this Friday the 21st of July. So coming into the end of the week, obviously I've got one more week to go until the end of the month. Markets now really starting to kick into gear. We've seen a bit of a change around again, the yen coming back to the tables as a weak currency. We spotted this earlier in the week where we were talking about getting long on euro yen. If we just take a look back on Wednesday, we saw that euro and yen started to enter on our tables as a potential one to watch. Although obviously yen at that time was actually on the strength side of the trend traders table, but the early signs were saying that we should be looking for those longs. And if you did actually follow along with euro yen, we talked about getting long down here at this 156.30. We talked about 130 pips stop loss. So if you held this market, prices hit the target at 158. So you would have scored at least 170 pips out of that move through here. So real yen weakness appeared over the past few hours. Now I believe that was down to some potential data out of Japan, which was the sort of core CPI data remaining at 3.3%, and we've seen that sort of move take off, or at least when the European markets opened, it took off to the upside. So yeah, interesting move there for euro yen. So not really focusing on that market in particular, but out of the yen pairs, one market I am interested in is CAD yen. So we did lightly discuss CAD yen recently. I believe we were looking at the fact that price was coming into this 140.50 support. We'll just go up to that weekly time frame and zoom out slightly. It was the neckline of this double top pattern, and it could mean that price is heading back up to the 109 level, 109.80s. Now, if I look at the 4-hour time frame, we've broken through prior highs at the 106.50, and that's where I'll be looking to do business with this market. If price can pull back down to the 106.50, we can have 100 pip stop loss, and then we could look for targets up at that 109 level. So we'll see what happens here for CAD yen. We've just come into these prior highs here at the 107.60. Might get a little bit of a rejection there, so looking to see if we get a bit of a sort of pull back into that market. If we don't get that, then we'll have to look for a kind of a consolidation breakout retest kind of move instead. So CAD yen still one to watch on the tables here, obviously yen being that weakest currency. Another one to watch is Swiss yen. So I've actually had a little look at Swiss yen. Now Swiss yen's a really tricky pair to try and trade because we've just traded again through the all-time highs, and the all-time highs are now 163 sort of 98, maybe even the 164 we could call that. So really tricky market, because where do you target with your long opportunities? The only thing I could say is you target the previous highs, I guess. So again, kind of looking at this market, how would I shape myself up for this one? Now I've actually looked for an entry around about 162.40. The reason why I've looked at 162.40 is because it kind of is an area where we've got a bit of consolidation. Price broke down through. We found a bit of resistance, traded lower. So I actually like this 162.40 area because it has kind of that confluence of those lows there. So that's where I'm looking to get in long. Targets, to be honest, targets on this are very open. You can't really target anywhere apart from, we could say, previous highs at 160 pips. We have a 135 pip stop loss, which takes us below those lows. So we do have positive risk reward ratio, but you could just hold this one open and just see how far it continues to the upside. Maybe we'll add some kind of trade management on this one with regards to stop loss management. So Swiss yen, pretty much an open position. Kiwi Swiss. So we can see Kiwi, the weakest, second weakest currency, Swiss the third strongest here, but it tops our trend traders table. Now we did recently talk about this, maybe a move up into the 0 spot 54.10, but price came very shy of that level, 4 pips shy actually of that level. So unfortunately we consolidated, we've broken down again. Now targets at the 0 spot 53 handle. I'm looking for entries around about the 53.85. The reason being is if we have a 50 pip stop loss, we have at least 85 pips to target. So again, positive risk reward ratio on that particular market. So I'm looking for a retest of this consolidation zone from that hourly chart to see if we can get any kind of momentum to the downside on this market. If I just go up to that weekly chart, it is the all-time lows, so I do expect price to sort of test that level. It's just, can we get the pullback first and the entry into that market? Finally, then we've got Kiwi CAD. Kiwi CAD, a market of interest. You can see that we kind of traded off this trend line resistance most recently. Price is now heading lower. Could be heading back down to the 0 spot 8050 handle, which was this low that formed most recently at the end of June. If price does head towards that level, opportunities to get short on this market as well. And if I go down to the hourly chart and just zoom in, you can see we've kind of created a level around about the 82.10 level. And again, that's where I'm looking for a bit of an entry into this market, because we've got this kind of horizontal area where we found support, resistance. We've got the 50 moving average running through that point. And if I was just to pop sort of a trend line on here as well, there is kind of like a little bit of a trend line confluence. If that was just to get onto the actual high there we go. So yeah, a bit of confluence around that point for a bit of downside. We do have a minor level running through, which I've marked in at the 81.50, but I'm not too worried about that. I think price is heading down to the 0 spot 80.50. So a pullback into this kind of area, I would be looking for short opportunities to the downside on Kiwi CAD. So I hope you enjoyed all the content this week. I hope everything went well for you, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. Have a great weekend.